Welcome to the second initial training membership video, where I'll be explaining paperwork and the process and policies that are related. First, let's go over cancellation forms and the process behind them. This is important because members will come in to fill out cancellation forms constantly. It is important when a member is signing up for a membership that we remind them that a cancellation form takes 45 days to process. That way, when they come to fill one out, they are not blindsided. So, when we receive a cancellation form, we are going to count 45 days from the date the form was submitted. For simple math purposes and to make your life easier, I highly recommend using the 6 down and 3 to the right method. This can be done by pulling up the calendar on your PC and tapping down 6 and to the right 3. This will give you exactly 45 days. Now I'll show you how to do so. So if you select the calendar on your PC, so say someone submitted a cancellation form today, June 13th, 2019. To get the 45 days, I would simply tap down 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and to the right 3, 1, 2, 3. That would put the 45 day as July 28th, 2019. The first step when someone submits a cancellation form is to check to see if the patron has a balance. This is important because if there is a balance, you will need to inform the patron that they must pay this balance before we can even continue processing the cancellation. After checking their balance, we will then check to see if the individual has completed their contract. For example, if someone has signed up for a UAB 12-month employee membership, I will check their POA history, which means payment on account, to see if they have indeed been a member for at least 12 months as of that 45 days rule. If the individual has not been a member for their contracted time, then they will have to pay early termination fees, which is then described at the bottom of the cancellation form half sheet. When we receive a cancellation form, we need to make sure that the form is properly filled out and it is signed on the last page. It is important to clearly communicate who the patron is canceling, especially if they have submembers. If the main member cancels their account and they have submembers on their account, the submembers will cancel as well. This is because the submembers only have access under the main member. So if the main member is gone, then they no longer have eligibility under that individual. Here is a picture of the cancellation form half sheet that you as a membership attendant will be filling out. It is very helpful because it gives you step-by-step directions on how to process the cancellation through our program CSI. When we are setting the individual from active to their future cancellation date, this is what the screen will look like. The future cancellation date will be based off of that 45-day rule. This will also affect the repetitive on the patron's account. So what even is a repetitive? A repetitive is how many more times a patron is going to be charged. So if a patron is canceling, we have to adjust the amount of times they are going to be charged in the near future. Most of the time, the repetitive is going to be set to 1. There is a certain circumstance where it is set to 2, depending on when we run billing, but this will be explained further. Once we follow the steps on the cancellation half sheet, which also includes adding a note and a code, we are going to kindly let the patron know that they will receive a confirmation email from the supervisor. The last step on the cancellation sheet is add to the cancellation report on the R drive. So in order to complete this, you're going to select the For Henry file, and this screen to your right will pop up. You will then click on Cancellation Reason Reports and select the current month that we are in at the time. Once it is selected, it will bring you to the Excel document. Here is the Excel document. All you're going to do for this document is add the member's name underneath the appropriate column along with the membership type that they have. Then you will simply put a 1 in the column on the reason that they stated for leaving the UAB Campus Recreation Center. If no reason is listed, you can put the 1 in the NA column. This may seem tedious, but is extremely important for internal reporting reasons. Once you have completed this step, please put all cancellations that are credit cards into Mallory's mailbox. If the patron is canceling and they are payroll deductions, please put them in Henry's mailbox. Let's go over more information regarding cancellation policies. We have something called the 10th day rule. When we are looking at the 45 days from the submitted date of the cancellation form, we are going to see if it is before the 10th of the month or after the 10th of the month. If it is before the 10th, the membership will cancel the first of that month. But if it is after the 10th of the month, the membership will cancel the first of the following month. This determines the official cancellation date. So, let's do a few examples. Say a patron turned a cancellation form in on May 1st. So I'm going to open my calendar on my PC and select May 1st. I am then going to go down 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and over 3, 1, 2, 3. This would put the 45 days on June 15th, which is after the 1st of the month, after the 10th of the month, which means it would cancel July 1st. If it's after the 10th, it cancels the 1st of the following month, July 1st. Say a patron turns one in on April 20th. So let's go to our calendar and find April 20th. I'm then going to go down 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3. This puts the 45 days on June 4th. Is this before or after the 10th of the month? Yes, it is before the 10th of the month, meaning that it will cancel the 1st of this month. June 1st would be the cancellation date. Now, let's do September 28th. So, I have selected September 28th on my calendar on my PC. Now I'm going to go down 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and over to the right 3, 1, 2, 3. This puts the 45 day at November 12th. This is after the 10th of the month, meaning it'll cancel the 1st of December. So, some frequently asked questions about canceling memberships. A patron walks up to the desk and says, "I have moved far, far away. Can I cancel even though I did not fulfill my contract?" Well, once the patron submits proof of relocation, such as a piece of mail with their new address or a copy of a lease with a new address, then the patron does not have to pay early termination fees. However, they still have to wait 45 days to cancel, which means that they will have to pay another month of membership due to the repetitives following the 45 days. Let's go over the next example. I had no idea that I needed 45 days notice of canceling. I need to cancel tomorrow, so what can I do? Well, this situation should not happen because we should be telling them when they sign up for their membership that it takes 45 days to cancel. However, you can politely tell them that the policy is stated within the membership agreement where they initialed and signed. Unfortunately, they still will have to wait the 45 days. If there is an emergency, like a major health issue, they will need to submit proof for further review to the Assistant Director of Membership and Marketing. Now, let's go over a freeze form and what that entails. To the right, you will see what a freeze form looks like. Members have the option to freeze their membership for a certain amount of time, which means they are not paying their dues. but they do not have access into the facility either. In order for this to occur, the member first needs to fill out a freeze form, whether that is in person or online, and email to us. The freeze form is similar to the cancellation form in a sense where it will take 45 days from when the patron fills out the form for it to go into effect. It is important to remind the member of this policy when they are filling out the freeze form. The patron can freeze their membership anywhere from 1 to 6 months, but no longer than that. Once you have the freeze form in hand, you can let the patron know that they will receive a confirmation email when their form is processed, and then you can place this form in Mallory's mailbox. Something to pay attention to is that if a patron has paid in full but wanted to freeze their membership, we would just extend the expiration date for however many months they wanted to freeze it. So, for example, say an individual comes in and wants to pay for a UAB 12-month membership in full. They would pay $420 upfront, and we would set their expiration date to a year from today. And then a couple of months later, they do have a residency for a couple of months in a different state and want to freeze their membership. Since we have already collected all of their money upfront, we would just extend their expiration date for however long they intended on freezing their membership. Now on to waivers and the waiver process. So, every individual that passes through the turnstiles must sign some kind of release form. This is to ensure that we take everyone's liability into account when they are entering the facility. Guests sign the waiver through point of sale when they are ringing up the guest pass. The waiver is attached to the point of sale electronically, so once the individual signs the waiver, they can then pay the $10 to enter with their sponsor. When rentals or other special groups enter the facility, they must fill out a paper waiver at customer service. Once the group enters the building, the Blazer 3 will then hand over the pile of waivers for the membership supervisor to scan and shred. If a minor is involved, the parent or guardian will need to fill out the bottom part of the release form electronically through point of sale, as well as the minor policy agreement paper form. So, who can be a guest here at UAB University Recreation? Any UAB employee can sponsor themselves in. So, if the individual works for UAB, they are able to buy themselves a guest pass and enter the facility alone. Any active member can sponsor up to 3 guests at one time. This is important to know. A member can only bring 3 people at one time. If they try to bring 4, then we will have to let them know that only 3 individuals can come in under their sponsor. Both parties must have a form of identification on them. This can be a driver's license, a student ID, just some type of identification, photo identification. This price is either $10 a day or $40 for 5 passes. The 5 pass deal is under series sales and needs to be assigned under the main member. The main member is basically prepaying for himself to have a guest pass in the future. The sponsor is responsible for the conduct of its guests, and we do not allow soliciting of members. Something to keep in mind is that guests must pay for their own parking and cannot check out equipment from equipment checkout. The sponsor can check out equipment and use it with their guest, but the sponsor has to be the person to physically check the equipment out.